I hate the schedule. Using a schedule in your daily life has probably been implemented by force or even by your own choice, whether that's from a school or just because your favorite influencer says so. Using a schedule is useful in helping to organize your time so you can be efficient in completing your tasks. Looking at the current time, you'll probably know someone that uses scheduling, whether it's at work, home, or for general planning. Generally speaking, 1 in 8 people use a dedicated time management system, so it's pretty common across us. More than 50% of people say they don't have things under control every day at work. So this sort of brings a question as to whether people are in control of their daily life and even at work. If scheduling were to be implemented, it will help a lot of people. Judging by these statistics and charts, schedules will be or are some part of people's lives today. And this is done to compensate for the loss of control and ownership. So should you use a schedule? Well, it depends. For a majority of us, we don't really need to use a schedule past our education years. And that's simply because we have a fixed routine. Whether that's your 9 to 5 or just a general lifestyle, you'll start to develop a routine that doesn't require a schedule. But on the other hand, the schedule helps to debrief your mind, and this would be catered to someone who has a lot on the plate. After education, scheduling is very common in those that travel a lot, are self-employed, and even are a freelancer. The schedule paints a forecast of the expected week. That's why your favorite influencer, YouTuber, has these schedules. However, prior to entering the workforce, schedules are mostly used among students, whether that's in exam prep and assignments. Normally, these schedules are used to categorize the mass amounts of assignments and exams that students have. And you'll often get the question that says, my life doesn't emulate this lifestyle, so should I still consider a schedule? And the answer is yes. When we say schedule, we aren't always referring to a written or digital schedule that we can see. It could be a mental schedule that we internally visualize in our mind just by thinking about it. This is what I do, by the way. Using this visualization, we can almost certainly prepare on a daily basis. Your life sooner or later will start to have difficulties and challenges that are imposed on you. It's at this stage where a schedule can come in handy, as it acts as a map that guides you to the next destination. What do I mean by this? At some point, you'll have more responsibilities imposed on you. Children, bills, more work duty. So what does this do is that it alters your daily work lifestyle. I don't want to use the word balance here because balance suggests everything requires an equal amount of attention. Although that might be the case, in some times of life that simply isn't possible. To get back to that earlier stage before these responsibilities were implemented, or to emulate the original lifestyle you had, you'll need a schedule to allocate the tasks and ensure you can meet your needs adequately. Let's use an example. Our father works at a consulting company that's roughly an hour drive from his house. He has golf on the weekends and generally hangs out with his friends afterwards. Let's say due to a job promotion, he's suddenly forced to relocate to another area with his family because of his promotion. He becomes concerned for his time to hang out with friends. And so how does he go about this? Well, using a schedule, he can visually plan out his day onto a board or planner. What this means is that it enables him to reduce his stress and see the scenario more clearly. It's no longer in his head, but onto a physical planner that he can clearly see in front of him. He can discuss with friends when his availability is and how they can plan around his new location. Of course, since he isn't in the same location as he once was, he'll have to find a new location. This is where the schedule is useful. He can see which days he has the most time available, and therefore, he can also see the days that he spends the most with his family and shuffle things around to fit in golfing. It won't give him the same amount of time to spend with friends, but it will emulate that lifestyle. So it's important to use whatever resources at hand as opposed to completely giving up the idea. Even if you aren't in a current full-time job, simply being a student brings about more free time. Free time for the general domestic student. We're assuming here that the student has a job on the side and studies full-time. The student doesn't really have responsibilities and most often is in a comfortable environment. What this means is that they have extra time to pursue a hobby or even a separate career that they want to excel in. Whether this is in content creation, business, or even an artistic career, it's important to keep a schedule because sooner or later you'll start to become bored or you'll look at life as meaningless. This is because you aren't pursuing or chasing anything in the current time besides working and studying. The schedule gives that beam of guidance, that support that keeps you on the right track. So how do we use a schedule? As mentioned before, a schedule can be mental or physical. I myself use a mental schedule because it's very easy to do. You just visualize in your head what you want to do that day, week, or month, and you go by that. Of course, I wouldn't recommend for someone that has a lot of tasks on their plate to use a schedule because it can get very blurry and muffled. Keeping a journal or a planner helps to schedule your time and plan out any important tasks, so adjust this to your liking. Now, closing off this video, I know this was a bit of a blurred and rushed video, so I do apologize. I wasn't sure what approach to go with this video, but nonetheless, in the future, I'll have another video that explores parts of this video into more detail. So I do hope you enjoyed and keep a lookout for the next video. Thank you.